Hey YouTube, Creepcrawler87 coming at you again. Today we're going to teach you how to replace the bearing in your idler pulleys on your lawnmowers. We did the repacking video already. You can search my channel for that. But today we're doing the how to remove the bearing if you actually do need to replace it, or if you want to convert regular idler pulleys into replaceable bearing idler pulleys. Pretty easy, takes a few minutes, takes some bolts, but we'll go over all that. Alright, well, this is our victim for today. As you can see, it's an idler pulley. This is actually off the deck of a John Deere, but the process is basically the same for any idler pulley. As you can see, you got your bearing in here. The bearing in this one is bad. How we get these apart is pretty simple. If you look here, you have these rivets. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you have these spot welds. You got spot weld, spot weld, spot weld, spot weld, yeah, all the way around. So basically, we're going to take and grind the heads off these rivets, and then we're going to take a drill bit and drill through these spot welds after we center punch them, and then basically the pulley will fall apart, and we'll get some little screws so that we can hold it back together. You can also weld it, but then every time you replace it, you have to drill your welds back out and re-weld it. So I just replaced these and these with bolts. Put a little Loctite on them, never had a problem. Usually go with 10-30 seconds bolt and nuts for those. Alright, we got the pulley in the vise. We got the 4-inch angle grinder with just a regular grinding wheel on it. And basically what we're doing is grinding these rivets off flush. I did one all the way, and then I did one halfway, so you can see what I'm doing. Basically just come in with the grinder, just like that. Grind the heads off, try to keep from grinding anything else. I hit the center a little bit right there, but it'll still be good. I'm not going to do any grinding with the camera on. I don't want to ruin my camera. Alright, we got them all ground down. They're ground down flush with the surface there. Next thing we're going to do is pound out the rivets. You don't want to do it while it's in the vise. As you can see, I kind of just got it loose in here so I could grind it. If you clamp down on it, sometimes these are a little bit tough to pound out, so you can bend the lips of your pulleys. So we'll take it out of the vise, and I actually have this piece of pipe. I clamp it into the vise, and then I pound the rivets out with that. Next step, we got our piece of pipe in the vise. We got this offset on here so that the rivet can go out into the pipe. You're not just trying to smash the rivet onto the pipe that's sitting there. Gives it a place to go. So we're going to take our punch and smack these out. Once again, I don't have anybody here helping me hold this, and I need a hand to run the hammer, so I'll just have to show you what it looks like after we're done. Alright, we got 5 out of the 6 punched out. This one I just punched it down a little bit so you could basically see what was going on. Just take the punch, knock all those out. I'm going to finish this up, and then we'll center punch these and drill out the spot welds. Alright, as you can see, I center punched each of the spot welds, and now we're going to get a 1/4 inch drill bit, or we'll probably go with just a little bit smaller. Basically, you want a drill bit that's just big enough to take out the whole size of the spot weld. So you want one just about as big around as your spot weld is, just a hair bigger. Alright, as you can see, I got a couple of them drilled out already over here. Basically, you just line up your drill press, get your center punch mark, drill them out. Once we get these all drilled out, we'll take a couple screwdrivers and separate the two halves. Alright, so we got all of our holes drilled out around the edge, as you can see, and the rivets are all knocked out. So I got me a flathead screwdriver. Basically, you just got to find a way to hang onto this. I usually put it against my hip and then use the other hand and smack the screwdriver into it. And you want to work your way around. You do a little bit here, a little bit there until you get it all separated. Basically, you don't want to really pry in one spot because you don't want to bend the pulley up. You're trying to keep it as true as possible. Well, actually, I got the screwdriver started in here, and I was having trouble with it, and I realized I forgot to drill out a spot weld. That's what happens when you get in a hurry. I'm kind of doing this under a time crunch and trying to do a movie, so I just want to show it happens to everybody. So let's get that drilled out. Alright, now we actually have all of them drilled out. Let's try that again. Rolling the pulley around a little bit more. Well, that one popped open pretty easy. Alright, as you can see right here, you got the two pieces. So now you just take the bearing. Oh, that one's a little stuck on that side. Take his hanger. There we go. There's the one pulley half, one pulley half, one pulley half, old junk bearing. Now most bearings like these, like how this one has a spacer right in the center, you can push those out, or you might actually have to put it in a vise and get you punch it out, but make sure you have that way to work on the original bolt that you had it in to begin with. Alright, now you're probably wondering, yeah, that's great, I got the bearing out, but now what? What I do is I take the old bearing and I take it in to the local hardware store. Sometimes they have them. I'm also going to try at Tractor Supply, and the other place, which if all else fails, is Motion Industries. Motion Industries is a bearing supply company. Pretty much any place around your wherever you live that sells bearings or small engine parts. We have a couple nice places around here. Ditmars in Lancaster, Ohio. They're one of my big sources to get parts from. They're good people in there. But yeah, you can take these any place that sells bearings, get you a new bearing, or you can take a pair of calipers and you can spec it out, and then you can order new ones online. Most of the time they'll have a part number. Well, this one's old and crusty, so it's not, but a lot of times they have a part number right on the seal here, and as long as you put in that part number and it comes up with the bearing same dimensions, you can use that yourself. I did a little digging with the tip of a screwdriver, kind of easy, and scraped off the old yellow paint and actually found the bearing part number, so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. This here is a 6203 RS. This is an extremely common bearing. I've actually been told it's one of the most common bearings in the world. They use them for all kinds of industrial applications, and pretty much any time you need a bearing somewhat close to this size. I actually have a stash of these. These are what is in the pulley where I did the repacking video. That pulley uses those, and that's on my mud mower, so I kind of keep a stash of them because they're pretty easy to replace. So I'm just going to go grab one out of my stash and replace it. Alright, now you just pound. Pound the spacer in till this is flush both sides. Alright, as you can see here, we got our new bearing. I don't know why the camera won't focus on it. Just another 6203, same size. Just a little note, 6203s, they do come with different inside diameters, so make sure you match up the correct one for what you got. Alright, anyway, so we got our new bearing, put the spacer put in it. We're going to drop that down in there. Then we'll tap that down in. And we'll take our other pulley and we'll line up our bolt holes and tap that down and squeeze it all together.